How would we have any idea?
Exactly. How you going to have it?
But it's not because we thinking like, oh, he ain't da da da. It's just thinking like, okay, well, I'm not in your brain.
Limited information.
Testing. Why is it? Okay. Okay. Yes, headphones are okay. Child. It's 12:15. We are in here. Hey, everybody. Like, share. It's Saved in the City. We are back in the studio, and if you saw the video come on, we were in a little bit of an argument mode because Pastor Redante, he got the good stuff. As far as like, for shooting, you see all of this extra, we could have a whole body up here, but that's okay. We here and we're about to make it happen.
I tried to tell him.
So we're about to start in literally like about a minute. So I'm just going to get a couple things together, but you don't want to miss our conversation, hot topics. Make sure you tag your friends, your family, share this post. We're going to have a little fun today. Is that all right? I hope it's all right with y'all. Michaela, are we ready? Okay, yeah, because we've been taping for like 20 minutes now. 24 minutes to be exact. So we will jump right in, okay? What's up, Milwaukee and the world? Welcome to another episode of Saved and the City with your girl, Iberia. But guess what, y'all? It's not just me. Oh my God, it's not just me anymore. I got my peoples with me. What a blessing to have some movers and shakers rocking with Saved in the City on a regular. The crew, Johonna D and PR. How y'all feeling?
How you doing?
Okay.
How you doing?
You here?
I ain't giving y'all no how you doing. What's up, everybody?
Okay, you give us a little what's up.
Say how you doing?
We talking. So for those people who are listening on the podcast right now, you're like, who y'all? We're talking to our Facebook Live audience, but then of course we do love our podcast audience as well. But if you ever want to catch us live and be able to see everything live and in living color, then just follow us on Facebook at Saved and the City, and you will be able to see all the behind scenes kind of fiasco that kind of goes on to make this all happen. But for those of you who are just joining for the first time and you've never heard of Saved in the City, you're not sure exactly what it is. Saved in the City is a weekly talk show where we candidly explore issues and topics from church culture to world culture and everything in between. Each show ends with the solution for the show's theme problem, and we call that the Kingdom Solution. So if you hear that later on in the show, you know what we're talking about. But again, be sure to like us if you haven't already on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're everywhere that you want to be. And then also subscribe to our podcast on your mobile device. So if you have an Apple phone, Android, we are not biased. Either way it goes, you can download Saved and the City and stay up on all the new things that we're talking about each and every week. Guess what, y'all?
What's up?
We are also, they're like, huh? It's something. I wasn't ready for that. That ain't in the script. Right. We're also on Roku, which is super duper cool. Oh my God. So visually, once we tap into the good stuff that Pastor Redante has, that'll be great for Roku TV and also Apple TV. So I'm excited about that. And so if you like what you see, like what you hear, make sure that you spread the word to your friends and family to tune in. We could absolutely use your support. Shout out to our weekly sponsors, the Infinite Church, and that is pastored by Pastor Redante. He's sitting here, and of course First Lady Erica Ashford. We love her so much. They're located over at 3940 North 21st Street. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Infinite Church. They're everywhere that you want to be. Also, Lifestyle by Johanna. Make sure you follow her on Facebook at Johanna Duckworth. She has lots of things that are coming up, and you stay connected with her, and she'll let you know exactly what you need to do to stay connected with her as well. Shout out to Mima's Gourmet Delights, Pastor Martha R. Austin. Easter has come and gone, but that doesn't mean that the sweets are over. You can definitely catch a good time and some good sweets. You can go on up to Lena's Food Market or even Woodman's and pick up your dessert, your sweet potato pies, banana pudding, anything that you can think of that you probably don't need. She definitely has got it. Also, shout out to Elsie Flanard of And Now. I wouldn't even be in the studio without him. We definitely appreciate him. Make sure you subscribe to his podcast on your mobile devices. It's devices as well. Luminosity Enterprises LLC, thank you so much for your marketing support every week with the flyers and everything that kind of goes along with that. Michaela Farmer, we love you in here, our intern, who is gearing up to go to college. I was like, this is the first time I ever told a kid not to go to school. That's horrible. I'm being selfish. I love her so much, but she has so many colleges to choose from because she's just that amazing. So, Michaela, we appreciate you and love you right here at Saved in the City. Yeah, I think that's the show we're on. Shall we jump right into today's hot topic?
We shall.
I think so. Well, PR, I know you had some things that you wanted to kind of chat about. Stephen Clark, we were talking about him a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and it's real unfortunate. For those of you that are watching that don't know about Stephen Clark was the young man who was shot in Sacramento, California, 20 times. He was unarmed, only had a cell phone, but he was shot in his grandmother's backyard. And there's been so much talk about Stephen Clark, and of course it just gives rise to all of the anxiety that a lot of African Americans feel in regards to their relationships with law enforcement and so on and so forth. But this week, what took a different turn with the Stephen Clark scenario was because there was some discovery after his death that he put out some tweets or messages that were kind of like berating to black women.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt a few different ways about this because I've heard a lot of women talk about his misogynistic views and all of those. And we first and foremost, we want to condemn misogyny in any form, any fashion, right from the onset, because we do want to lift up women. All women deserve to be lifted up, protected, and all of that. But I just didn't like the way it was introduced after this man's death, because even if he was the worst sinner and wrongdoer on the planet, he did not deserve to be shot 20 times and killed in his backyard. So to even bring this to the forefront, to me, is kind of like leaves a bitter taste. It's not right. And even as black women and women, come on, you could just there's times that we just say, okay, yes, this person maybe had wrong views towards all of different people of all walks of life, but still, we have to look at we're fighting for justice at this point. And so the fight for justice has to be even for people that we don't agree with, that may not have even agreed for us, with us. And one last thing about Stephen Clark that I wanted to introduce, and seeing the reaction of his brother, who obviously from the statement of his family is dealing with some kind of mental health issues.
Yes, that's what I
and you can also
too.
see the mental illnesses that are taking place on display in the public arena around his family. Maybe, just maybe, Stephen Clark himself, and I don't know because I don't know, but maybe he himself was dealing with some kind of mental illness. And so we don't know, was his statements made from a person who was of a sane mind, or was he a person who was suffering from a mental illness? So we just have to take all of this into context when discussing this young man. And I just think that the fact that this young man was slaughtered in his backyard, shot 20 times, hit 8 times, but shot at 20 times.
Oh, thank you, because I thought it was 8 times. That's why I keep saying that. I've heard people say 20.
Well, they shot 20 times.
Makes sense.
But he was hit 8 times, 6 times in his back.
And what they tried to do, they tried to say that the reason why they shot is because he was charging at them, but he was shot 8 times in his back.
6 times in his back.
6 times in his back.
Right. And so the thing is that justice the fight for justice has to supersede our individual things. If Stephen Clark, felt some kind of way about other people of other walks of life, I would be saying the same thing. And like I said, I understand that we are in a sensitive time where when it comes to women's rights and women's views and things like that, and we want to make sure that we uphold that and fight for that and defend that with vigor. But come on, this brother is dead, and he's not here to defend himself, and he's not here to say what exactly those Facebook messages actually meant, or where did he. So we can't just now write him off and say, or even put that cloud over his head. We're fighting for justice. He did not deserve to be shot with a cell phone in his hand in his grandmother's backyard.
And some Skittles. What is up with that? It's like as soon as you have some candy, it's like, look out here, you could be shot.
Stay away from Skittles.
Stay away from Skittles. Stay away from, what was it with Trayvon Martin? He had, I think it was a tea,
and
and Skittles. It was Skittles too. I don't want to say I love Skittles, so leave them alone if you're about to walk outside. Only eat them in your house. I don't know exactly what to say about that, but what I will say is that I had the same feelings in regard to Stephon Clark as it pertains to I don't know what that is with people when it's like or maybe it's just the enemy. It's a opportunity to deflect from the real issue at hand. Exactly. And so now here we are, and I saw some people, it's when we're talking about the woman who the women or the black women that he was saying that he didn't like black women and that they made ugly babies, and I mean it was just really stupid, ignorant stuff that he was saying. And it's like for us to focus on that, and I think I saw some comments on Facebook with people saying I'm not sending any money to his family now. It's just like, okay, and I get it, I totally get it, as an African American woman, I get it. And then there's these photos of him and his Asian girlfriend, and apparently I guess there's some video where they're openly talking about African American women. So I understand the outrage, but at the same time, back to Pastor Redante's point, it's like, but the real matter at hand is that this person was shot, and it wrongfully so. And again, I think it really does go back to the issue that we have so many unresolved hurts and issues in the African American community. Bottom line, you brought up something about mental illness, because we were talking about his brother Stephante, who runs into this court. What is it? Was it a courtroom? Mm-hmm. Was it? I'm not sure if that's what it was. But literally, he runs down and he's like chanting his brother's name. But then when he gets in front of, I guess, I don't know if those are judges or who those people were, he's like dancing. He jumps up on top of the, it's like a counter of some sort, and he's bucking his head, and he looks like, if you're from the natural eye, he looks like a fool. Honestly, he looks like a complete. He looks like the exact stereotype of what they say black people are. But when you get to the core of his issue, we're not dealing with. Someone else said this guy was suffering from post-traumatic stress.
Right. And so, can I just say something? My thoughts on this, first of all, it's just so disheartening, the situation. It makes me sad on many levels, from a spiritual standpoint, the absence of him from his family. I believe he had children.
Right. Yeah, he did.
As well.
I think
and so,
children.
The void on that level. But I will say, I know people personally who work in law enforcement. And so I think that, there is definitely some updating in the training that needs to happen as it relates to, a cultural sensitivity to different ethnicities and maybe how we do things. But then also, I think that as we have a responsibility as well, right? And so, if you think about law enforcement and people that, so I'm not talking about, let me just put out a disclaimer, I'm not talking about people who are trigger happy, right? Trigger happy is a whole different thing. Right. And I think that is what, kind of brings up the whole injustice, feeling. But when you think about people that work in law enforcement and their goal is to protect and serve. And you think about, things that are happening, mental illness is serious, right? Yes. And so there's a lot of people, not just in our community, but in the community as a whole, right? In the world that have mental illness. And so if people are looking like they may do something to you, like I'm in a situation, it's adrenaline running. I don't know what you got.
You shoot 20 times.
But
I'm not saying you shoot no times, but I'm saying that if I'm saying stop, you running, you hiding, you ducking, I'm saying stop. Hey, stop. And I'm law enforcement. I'm not the neighbor. saying stop. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not.
You're absolutely correct. And sister, I don't, John, I don't want to cut you off. I'm saying here's where the dilemma is, because I have watched videos, and I'm sure you have seen them, where there have been people of other ethnicities that have rushed at law enforcement, that have law enforcement, that have
and they don't, and you're saying that they don't respond with the same level of aggression or the same level. I get it.
Let me say this, because I live in Wauwatosa, all right? As an African American male, I was out running one day, and I had my phone right after this happened. I had my phone in my hand, and I literally had that on my mind, that I could literally, my life can be taken from me because somebody feels threatened when they see me or when they see other African American males or females or whatever. And so the thing that we're saying is, if that is the fear for your life thing is what people are really holding on to, then there should be people of all ethnicities that would meet these fates. And let me just go on record in saying, I don't want to see a Ku Klux Klan member be killed innocently. I mean, be killed unarmed with a cell phone in their
even
hand.
If you have on a sheet? I mean, what are we talking about?
With the sheet on.
Come on.
Because I'm trying to tell you that even in that instance, it's still injustice. And we have to stand up for justice. That's not right. And so the thing is that I understand that there needs to be some, I agree with your statement, there needs to be some retooling, some retraining in dealing with communities and so on and so forth, because there's a threat that is seen obviously by the skin color of certain people, because we have too many of these situations happening in our community. It's just far too many. Like, it's like every week it's a new hashtag.
And it's nothing. I think it's unjustifiable, you know, the way it's happening. And so then the opposite side of it, the flip side of it, I think, you know, which is also a part of the conversation, is that we have and it's usually, not all times, but Caucasian males who go up into schools and public places and just start picking off people. When they get these
school shootings. Absolutely.
And so we have two very different instances, right? And so I think right there is definitely a discussion to have. How do you deal with that situation? You know, they are holding hostages.
But then they're handled very differently. These African American boys are handled like animals.
That's right.
Like they're some type of rabid dog that's running up to these people. They're not treated like teenagers or like, you know, kids. They're not treated that way, and it's enraging. What his aunt, you know, because we talked a little bit about the training aspect. But I don't know if it was his aunt, but, you know, there's been this woman that's been circulating around social media talking about Stefan and I guess his younger brother also. I don't know if he was murdered, but he's dead as well. I think he was like 19 or something like that. And so she says, where are the mental health professionals? So I think that we also have to deal with, because to your point, Johanna, you're right. We're sometimes dealing with people who are not in their right mind. And so then how do you deal with a person who might be mentally challenged versus someone who just has lost it, you know? And so there's a lot.
The enforcement of law, people deserve their day in court. And Dr. King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And so we just still have to stand up and fight for injustice. When we see it, we have to speak out against it, and we just have to take the stance. It doesn't matter who it is, what the skin color is, or what the situation is. No one should be in an unjust situation.
Well said. And, you know, and as you're talking about training, it does kind of bring up, you know, we can switch gears just a little bit. You know, we really could stay on that. We really could have a whole show on that. And so maybe, you know, we can open up for discussion after the show. You know, if you guys have thoughts or concerns, let us know, and we're happy to address it. But we're talking about training as it pertains to people that are dealing with, you know, people in your community, you know, who might have a gun or who might seem threatening. How do you handle them? We're dealing with the same kind of issues.
Oh my goodness, Lord Jesus, Lord, with a T, help us.
I feel like there's something on your heart. Go on and put it out there.
So that's a perfect segue. I'll just say that, the whole situation at Bishop Jake's church with, security.
Tell them what happened.
Okay, so let's talk about what happened.
Yeah. Let's get on into it. Forget the...
So... We're talking about
the Potter's House,
the
TD
Potter's
Jake's
House,
church.
TD Jake's
his
church.
satellite church, to be clear.
Oh, really?
This was his satellite.
This
church.
is not Dallas.
This is not Dallas. This is Fort Worth. This was at the satellite church. So,
oh,
this is
very
pastored
interesting.
by someone else. So we just want to make sure that I love Bishop Jakes, and so I just want to make sure.
Okay,
that
I already know.
Thank you for the clarity. The clarity. And so within this situation, there is a young lady who is I didn't see a lot of her face. Or anything like
you
that.
don't. Yeah, there's a video that's circulating around. Yeah.
So this right here is getting people in a lot of trouble.
Oh,
Let me just say this, okay? It needs to be some kind of law, but at the same time, I think it has also been at the forefront of uncovering a lot of mishandling of situations.
Really, in all areas of life.
In all areas of life. But anyway, so this lady is, she is trying to present her case of why she was put off of the stage in ministry. So we're talking about in a church service I imagine it's a Sunday morning.
Yes.
I don't know if it is or not. I imagine it's a Sunday morning, but during the service, a regular scheduled service within their ministry. And so let me just say a disclaimer. So we are, actually, we don't know all the details.
Yes.
And so we are weighing in from the perspective of what we have seen and what we've known and what has been put out there at this point. And so she has been, I don't know, escorted. It appears she's in some kind of room with people who serve in ministry that appear to be...
Yeah, she was taken off the stage.
Taken off the stage.
What happened was she was not supposed to be on the stage in that particular area. And she said that First Lady had told her that she can be in that area. Now, up to this point, I thought she was talking about Sarita Jakes.
Well, they said that she was sat down. It's just so for our audience, for people that are not familiar with church terminology and things like that.
Yeah.
When someone is called sat down in ministry, that's a period of time for that person to either go through kind of a disciplinary training or something for whatever they did.
It's like a timeout for kids. Timeout. You go over there.
Sat down. You can't play no more.
I've been sat down before.
You can't play no more. I just left.
Yeah, I've never been sat down.
I've been sat down.
I don't know. I'm just saying. So let me just say this.
Yes.
And so my perspective is from someone who has served in ministry for a very long time in multiple environments, black church, white church, across the board. My husband has served in security for many years, so he's one of the people, right? He's got the little thing in his ear and he's listening to what's happening around. Yeah. So first of all, let me just say that there is, when you're dealing with church on a larger level, right? So there are some things, some protocol and some things that happen, that need to happen in order for people to stay safe in the church. In particular, the men and women, the shepherds of the house. That's the pastor's wife, those people, right? So for their protection, for the protection of the congregation as a whole, there are some things that the security, the officers in larger churches, they may even have police detail assigned to the ministry because of the size of it. And most of the time, the people are actually parishioners, right? They attend the church, and so that is their way of serving. That's their way of serving because that is their area of expertise. So if you think about a musician, they play a piano, right? Yeah. That's how they serve. And so law enforcement, they serve in different ways, and they bring in other people to help them do that. And it's really to keep the order, right?
Yeah, right.
And so in this particular situation, there is an exchange between a lady who is, she's not happy that she got removed.
Right.
And so in my idea of serving and how I have been groomed to serve, is that if there is a person of authority that is giving you a directive, whether you agree with it or not, you come under it.
Yeah.
That's called Submission.
Oh, people don't know about it.
Can we say that when it starts with the S?
Yeah,
submission.
No, people don't know.
Whether you agree with it or not.
To nothing these days.
Whether you agree with it or not is not the issue, is not the point. And so I think in this, I almost turned off the video because I couldn't take all the talking.
The back and forth.
Somebody that is in authority in this situation asked you to remove yourself. All the talking back and forth, it made me think of my kids. If I tell my kids something,
and so the lady started getting aggravated.
she was irritated because it was too much conversation. It's like, okay, if I'm talking to my kids and I ask you to do something, first of all, this is not the time, especially if there's something that's going on. We don't have time to have a discussion. I'm just asking you, come up under what I'm asking you to say. At a later time, maybe we can talk about the details of it, right? Well, so you having a conversation with the first lady, and perhaps you did. And so I'm saying that we don't know that. And so if we think about different, we talked in the previous segment about people that have challenges mentally, socially, as a person in leadership, you're having to weigh what's happening right now. What's going on? What's happening? Your discernment is kicking in. I don't know anything. And maybe she does know something about the young lady. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I'm saying that, one, I think the man was wrong. If you look at the video, he's trying to, calm the situation down. And it really does end in some unnecessary.
That's where the issue arises. Beyond the talking, the issue arises when the girl says, let me go. Yeah. And then they close the door. Right. So that's when she went to 10.
Yeah, she did go to 10.
She did went to 10.
She did went to 10.
She did went to 10.
She did all of that. But I think that they're not solely at fault. I don't think they're solely at fault. She aggravated the situation. Yeah. And so when you're thinking about people that are but
did she have to be thrown on the ground? Like, this is still church.
I don't think she has to be thrown.
Go ahead.
I don't think so. But at the same,
because we got to move to Snoop in a second.
Yeah. I also don't think that she's not at fault. I think she played a role in it escalating to the point that it did.
Well, here's the thing. And once, whatever the situation was, I tell people at my church and everywhere, even though I understand submission and all of that, but we, even as pastors, ministers, leaders, we only have a limited role, a limited authority in people's lives. We do not have all authority over people's lives. We operate in what's called limited authority. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When a person tells you one time that I want to leave, and you have a door shut on them,
right?
When they say one time, I want to leave, at that moment, you have to have enough spiritual guidance in you to open that door
and let the child go. Unless they thought she was going to go running wild.
That's all I'm saying. Escorting her out the building.
Okay.
That's what they should have did.
Right. At that moment, she should have been escorted
I agree
safely
with that. Completely.
Off of the grounds. You do not lock a person in a room to make your point.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because at that moment, it doesn't matter what her situation was. At that moment, that was a failure of the leadership in that place. The people that were leading at that moment, they failed.
I agree with that.
And that's all
Pastor
that matters. And here's Bishop Jakes is at his church across town preaching, and they've caused a blight on the ministry because they did not operate properly. Regardless of whatever her situation was, and we can go back and forth all about that. But regardless of that, the moment, the nanosecond that she said, I am ready to go, they should have opened that door. And they should not have stood in front of the door. She did not have a weapon. She was not causing a danger. They should have allowed her to leave. Because if she had to ask twice, that's kidnapping.
So I'm just saying,
are you following me? If she had to ask twice.
But so in my mind, I'm thinking you went into the meeting taping it.
But
right.
So you felt like something was about to jump off.
Right.
Intention.
That may have been for her own safety, though. And you have to understand.
But the fact that she got it. Well, go ahead.
Listen,
go ahead.
Regardless of I don't want to.
She felt like they was going to jump on her before she went in the meeting.
See, this is the thing that I try not to do.
Provoke something.
I try not to. I don't want to. And again, I can say all kind of things from a spiritual perspective. I can say it was this, it was that. I can speak to mental illness.
We really don't know.
But the truth of the matter is, we don't know. But what we do know is that we heard her repeat over
No,
35
that's right.
times, I am ready to go. And at that moment,
yeah, now I understand
the part of the tape that I think is the most disturbing is the fact that she was thrown to the ground and handcuffed, not by law enforcement.
Oh, I
but
thought
by
that was the
security.
police.
No, that was the security of the church that threw her to the ground and handcuffed her. And that to me was incorrect.
It was
And
incorrect.
They were wrong. I
incorrect.
think all parties were wrong, but I think to kind of end that this particular segment and go into the next thing, which is people leaving the church, but they flocking to what is it, the Church of Snoop? I don't know. We'll get to that in a second. But I think the problem, the issue that concerns me even more is, of course, now the video circulating around social media. Here go people. You see, that's why I don't fool with the church.
Whatever. You
See, that's why
with a church
right,
before that.
right.
You know,
That's what I'm saying.
why you lying.
That's what I'm saying. It's so irritating
Always
to
looking
my
for something.
soul, you know.
Oh,
and
my
then she
goodness.
tagging TDJ, she tagging all these people, and now they're trying to make this thing a bigger deal than what it really is. Yeah, she getting her 10 minutes of fame.
Right.
She went viral, you know. But honestly,
Which is what she was trying to do anyway.
Honestly.
She brought the phone in the meeting.
so we do. I mean, back to your thought of just saying about training. I think that we do need to train our staff, like in churches, people who are in leadership. We have to know how to be able to deal with people who have a phone.
So if we look at historically, if you Google how many times within the past 3 to 5 years there have been life-altering situations that have happened in the church, right? Where people who have extended brotherly love to people and
she said something
and
about
they
her being
come
bipolar.
back shooting up the church for whatever reason. And so I'm saying it's a fine line. It's a fine line. So is it absolutely we have a right, we have a more responsibility as leaders, people in the church to, handle people correctly and do it in love.
Yeah.
At the same time. On the other side of that.
And there has to be some order, because I think they want
be-
people just to run. What's the church? Just let people come as they are. Let them do what they want to do. You still have to have order and
Absolutely.
structure.
And how about we not interrupting the service so you can talk to the first lady? That's not happening.
Well, what again? That's why I said
So we can stay on that all day.
I know.
For real. I know.
It's worthwhile.
I feel some
Go
type
ahead,
of way
Pastor.
about it.
That's why I'm saying, like, that was from watching the tape, and I almost hate that I even watched it. But
I think I watched it 'cause
but I watched
you
it a few
watched it.
times, and she was not trying to interrupt the service. And I don't want to
think
sound
she
like
was
I'm
hurt,
caping.
too.
I don't want to sound like I'm caping for her, but all I want to say
Cape
is
for her.
that
Somebody has
she once she said she wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like we're in here taping this. If I say right now, look, I want to leave,
Yeah.
nobody
I'm
should
throwing
stand
my
in front of the
hands up.
door
Bye.
Yeah.
and try to stop me. Like you should.
They kept saying we gonna handle this right here. We gonna handle this right here.
Right, and they were trying to make their point. He kept repeating, we're gonna explain to you the system. And I'm like, brother, this ain't the time to explain the system.
Yeah, let her
this
go.
sister
Yeah.
is telling you,
Yeah,
I'm ready
she's
to
not
go.
in your
Yeah.
mind
And
yet
this
to
is
understand.
like you cannot hold nobody against their will.
Yeah. Understood. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get it. I just
So,
Lord,
again,
help us.
help us
Stretch your
again.
hand forth
Stretch your
towards
hand
the-
forth and bless us, because we like to do that. Because honestly, we all need some prayer, and we're not taking really anybody's side on that particular issue.
Right.
The church, there were some things with the church and those particular leaders that were in the wrong. The old girl was in the wrong for some of the things that she was doing, but like Pastor Redante said, the moment she said "let me go," she should have been let out. And so unfortunately, what it's doing is giving fuel to those people who have this kind of vendetta against the church. For them to say, see, this is why. And so there are more and more people that are leaving the church for various reasons. There's also a bunch of people who are coming on back to the church, coming back to you. But, what's happening is that I think because the lines are so blurred with, what is sacred and what is secular. And so now, I'm going to just put it out there, and I would love to hear some feedback from you guys. But Snoop Doggy Dogg, okay, the Chronic, has come out out with a gospel record, and check it out, y'all. He is #1 on the gospel Billboard charts, and it has blown my mind, but not really, because people, a lot of times people are buying things because it was like, okay, it's something different, it's something new, and people love controversy, and so I had the opportunity to listen to a few of the songs, and he wasn't on many of them. So really, what it is kind of like a gospel record, and I think he's like playing cameo on his own record, and so I don't know how I feel about it, only because when I think about Snoop Dogg, what I think about immediately is weed. He used to do porn. Now here's the thing. Really, aren't we all a wretch undone? So if this is something sincere, I don't know. What are y'all? Have y'all listened? Have you heard about it?
I actually pulled up the Snoop Dogg album and was, I'm going to be honest, I didn't get through the whole thing just for time's sake.
And then him standing up with that robe, it just felt like an insult.
But I'm going to tell you something, and just in a funny note, Snoop is my curse word. If you ever heard me say Snoop Doggy Dog.
Don't be cussing on Saved in the City.
I don't be cussing, but that's when I decided that I wanted to stop cussing, I would say Snoop Doggy Dog instead. So that's just on a funny note.
So on top of that, he's also a curse word. Just saying.
But on the cool, there are, first let's talk about the album. There's some gospel greats on the album. Yeah. Rance Allen, Kim Burrell,
Ty
Tribbett.
But also Tone. But Tone is Erica.
I was staying away from that one. I wouldn't listen to that one.
I know. Well, B Slade is his new name, but that's neither here nor there. That's another conversation.
I ain't rocking with B Slade,
but he gonna rock with Snoop Dogg. Go ahead.
But I'm.
Go ahead.
But I'm gonna tell you, I had mixed emotions about it as well, but not for the same reason. Like you said, I didn't know whether it was authentic or not. But
I thought it was a joke.
But after hearing Snoop's description of the album, he stated, and this is from him.
What did he say?
He said that his grandmother raised him in church, and his grandmother, he said he wanted to make a gospel album to pay homage to his grandmother, because his grandmother reared him in the church. He was raised in the church before he went to the streets, before he became a gang member and this and that. So he felt as if this was him returning back and him searching for God in his own way. So he wanted to.
Snoop trying to make $1. That's what it feel like. Here you go. Snoop and Martha Stewart. Now, you know what? Let's try gospel. That's what it feel like, but I don't know his heart.
You know what?
But that's the thing. That's the thing that I'm trying, where I would say on the pushback from that, I don't think it was a money play. I know that's crazy. I don't think it was a money play because, just to be honest with you, it ain't no money in gospel like that.
You're right.
And so, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he finna get booked on the biggest church tour or nothing like that. Like, I'm just being honest with you. Snoop is
right. It really helps the gospel world a little bit, honestly.
Snoop is one of the highest paid artists in his genre. A lot of people don't know that Snoop is in the upper hundreds of millions, and so I don't think that it was just a play for the money. There's certain things that artists do at that point that are just out of the love. So after hearing him say it, I took him at his word on that. And now what I do think that,
for real, I think R. Kelly was real when he did.
Well, so I was just gonna say that he's not the only one. What's her name? Tasha Cobbs and Nicki Minaj.
Oh, true. I think it might be a wave of.
Well, I mean, it's been going on. Is it?
Well, Kirk was the first. He always was the first. It was Kirk and Salt and Pepper.
Back in the day, and then also Kanye West. He's kind of done something.
Kanye West did what? Oh, but that was back in the day when you talking about when we all loved Kanye.
No, this is more recent. Yeah, more recent.
Who we do it with?
Ultralight Beam with Kirk Franklin, and
I don't even know who that is.
Well, that's Kanye's last album.
Kirk Franklin, and so I'm saying that it's not new. I think that maybe his position from where it's, because perhaps normally, and so I'm not the expert on this, so I don't know, but I'm saying that in many instances it's like a Tasha Cobbs bringing in Nicki Minaj. And so the story behind that, just if you haven't heard it, and I heard it because I was watching Good Morning America, or it was a Today Show, and she was on there. And so Good Morning America, Robin Roberts was interviewing her, and she was like, wow, how amazing. And she's just kind of talking to her. And so she was saying, how did Nicki Minaj end up on this song? And she said, Nicki Minaj inboxed her on Facebook.
I love it.
And she
I kind of love it now you say it that way.
Listen, and so she said that she told her, I've been watching you. And I love what you're doing. Like, I love your music. So she gave her love, right? And so so I think she said, if you ever want a verse from me or something, like she put it out there. And she was like, absolutely.
I love it.
The rest was history.
Y'all, I love it. I love it so much. But we've been talking. We ain't got no kind of time. We got to go to our first commercial and music break. But I want to say that we are spot on. I love it. I see Homer inboxing us saying we going in. They're loving what we're doing. And you're so right. And back to what you were saying, Johonna, and I think that is why it's so important, regardless of what the world is doing, that if we say that we're called by God or we have some type of ministry, that we hold true to it, because you don't know who's watching and who you're blessing along the way.
Right. And so I think that, I just wanted to say that I think that, and so, I'm not a Snoop Dogg fan. I was when I was like 19, rolling around on campus. I'm not going to say it. Don't say it.
Was you smoking Indo though?
Don't say it. I'm not saying it. Mama, I ain't saying nothing, okay?
Mama, I didn't say it.
I'm just saying I know who Snoop Dogg is. Let's just say that. I'm not a fan right now in this season of my life. Anyway, I'm saying that, the world is watching. And so if he has been gleaning something from Ty and, different ones, we're not the judge. We're not the judge. So, but if it's making impact on the world, I want to say that, it's something to be said for that. And so I believe that Ty and the rest of the people that he's collaborating, Erica Campbell, those are some for real. Like, I believe that they love God for real, and I think that their walk, it can testify to that. And I don't think it's just about money for them either, for them to do the, Erica Campbell ain't hurting.
I love Erica.
So I'm just saying.
Look, and and I love Erica. You don't love Erica? What's wrong with you? So check it out. We gonna go to our first commercial and music break. Ain't church no more. I thought it was fitting because there's a lot of things that are changing and going on in the church. So we're gonna go to Ain't Church No More by Mario Brown, and then we'll be back with our Milwaukee Treasures and this week's church announcements.
Feeling stuck or overwhelmed in your business? Having trouble putting ideas into action? Not getting the results you want? Your business is in need of a coach, an experienced professional that motivates, provides honest feedback, and helps develop an action plan for your success. Did you know that 50% of businesses fail within the first 5 years? This doesn't have to be your business. You can now get all the help you need to succeed. Just visit Enterprise Now at enterprise-now.biz. Enterprise Now is a business development firm that specializes in providing business training, seminars, online training courses, and business coaching for business owners and entrepreneurs. That's enterprise-now.biz. Why wait? Take your business to the next level. We'll take your vision and your goals and deliver accountability, motivation, and an action plan so you and your business will succeed. Don't become a statistic. Visit us at enterprise-now.biz. Increase profits, grow your business, and improve your business skills today. Enterprise-now.biz.
Yeah, I got something to say, so let me get this off my chest. I remember seeing miracles, I remember seeing demons go. It was so powerful. What happened to the days that I used to see? Remember seeing families being fed by the pantries. Pastor had love for the people, and he would do anything to supply the need. Where the mothers go? And what about the deacons? Now who's supposed to get it prayed through? And who's supposed to teach us? And now we're following the program, and everything is a rush. I used to wanna go to church, but it ain't church no more. Ain't church no more. It just ain't church no more. church no more. Just ain't church no more. I remember hearing songs like, it is well with my soul. Blessed assurance, but what about amazing grace? Remember when the young player would play it till you felt better? It would sound a little something like, yeah. And you didn't need a doctor, you'd be healed on the spot. And there wasn't no therapy, bad habits they would drop. We raised people and not money. We even had time for testimonies. I used to wanna go to church, but it ain't church no more. Oh, ain't church no more. Said it just ain't church no more. Oh, church no more. Yeah. Said it just ain't church no more.
It ain't church no more. It ain't church no more. I can remember.
What's up, everybody? We are back. You guys are locked live to Saved and the City each and every Wednesday on Facebook Live and each and every Friday on WQIL-DB. Man, if you missed the first half of our hot topics, you missed it. You gonna have to. It got real hot up in here. Yes, but we kept on all of our clothes because we're saved. Come on in here, Jesus. So.
That was funny, Brandy.
I was like, I hope they catch it, because if not, it's gonna sound real weird. Like, why would she say that? So you know exactly what time it is. It is time for our amazing church announcements, and it's sponsored every week by Luminosity Leaks. If you want to leak, then you can just email me at luminosityent@gmail.com, and you can have your event sent out through an e-blast to over 1,000 Midwest contacts. So make sure you inbox me if you want more information about that. And so this week's Saved and the City church announcements, they begin as such. All right, the Musicians Appreciation Service. It's happening at 7 o'clock on Friday, April 6, 2018. And it looks like Inspired to Worship is putting it on, and it's going to be held at 3879 North Port Washington Road in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Special guests include Antoine Hines, Free Will Kojic, Michael C. Lewis, No Middle Ground, Kevin Gates, Jeanette Mixon, Brianna Hill, Ebony Spinks, and I'm like Niina Dallas. Sorry if I messed her name up. And they're gonna have cakes by Meemaw, Martha Austin. So make sure that you go and check out that Musicians Appreciation by Inspired to Worship at 7 o'clock on Friday, April 6th, 3879 North Port Washington Road. Also coming up April 14th, Raising Our Daughters Foundation proudly presents Platforms, Profits, and Portfolios. I love that title. Hosted by Shauna Sissio Weatherspoon. Again, that's Saturday, April 14th, and it's not actually in the Milwaukee area. It's going to be happening in the Illinois area, more specifically at Compass Mortgage, 2775 Dial Road, Suite 100, and that's in Warnerville, Illinois. So what are you going to learn there? You're going to learn money and your mindset, get tips on how to make your money work for you, invest in yourself, and be inspired by successful business women in real estate and financial services. Cover your assets. I was like, oh, wait, let me read that. I'll make sure I was saying it. CYA conversations, cover your assets. And then also get wealth building tips on growing your portfolio through real estate investments. So if that's of interest to you, make sure that you go and visit them, actually, at eventbrite.com to learn more at www.platformsandprofits.eventbrite.com. And that event is presented by Raising Our Daughters. Also, Big Beautiful and Blessed presents the prom dress giveaway. It's coming up. So if you have a high school student and they don't have a prom dress yet, please go and check them out. They have some really, really beautiful dresses. And it's happening Saturday, April 14th, 2018 at 11:30 a.m. Must arrive on time. And it's at the Mitchell Street Library, 906 West Historic Mitchell Street in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. High school students only. Okay. Emphasis. So don't be coming down there trying to get your club dress. Okay. This for the high school students. And you must register by calling 414-553-3255. Also coming up, Christian Connections and Cupcakes. Yay, I love this event. It happens once a month, and this time it's happening on April 16th at Washington Park Library. It is on the second floor there, 2121 North Sherman Boulevard in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And this month's spotlight is Teresa Hawthorne of Decently Ordered LLC. How organization drives innovation. Absolutely love it. I'll make sure that I post all of these events in our group on Facebook. Just 2 more events coming up, and then we'll jump right into our Milwaukee treasure. Also, Mogul University of Milwaukee Incorporated, they have their inaugural pilot happening on April 24th, and it is going to run through June 30th. So if you want to get involved, they have 18 full scholarships available, and this is for people who were formerly incarcerated. And so this is a really, really great opportunity for you to have a second chance, if you will, in life. And so if you want more information, email info@moguluniv.org. So info@moguluniv.org for an application. All right. And then, oh my God, it's almost that time.
It's almost that time.
Yes, get excited. You want to talk a little bit about Women in Worship real quick?
You know what?
Yay.
I can give a little plug for Women in Worship. It is an annual, I think this is the 12th year for Women in Worship with Pastor Melva Henderson. And it is actually not something that is a part of World Outreach. It's through Melva Henderson Ministries, and it's where women, all denominations, all races come together and just to worship. That's it. No other agenda, just to worship, pour your heart out before God. And really, you know, the tagline has been, and it is, you know, you don't want to make it sound cliche, but
Come on for the cliche.
But your life will never be the same.
It's so true.
It's the opportunity. You leave your kids at home, you leave your main at home, and at home, no main.
No, it's women in worship.
Women in worship. And it's the opportunity to really come before God. It is on neutral ground at the Helen Zalazo Center on UWM's campus. I highly recommend. This year's guest will be none other than Real Talk Kim. Ooh. If you know anything about her, she's this fabulous woman. She's for real. She's the real deal Holyfield. You may have seen her on Preachers of
LA.
Something. Yep, LA. But more than that, the Word of God is on the inside of her, and she's going to be sharing it with the women. And that is
May 25th through the 26th, again at the Helen's how you say it?
Zalazo
Center in
UWM.
Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. That's at UWM. General admission's only $65, and the Empowerment Luncheon is $55. If you want more information, of course, we love Pastor Melva. You know, she's there every year. It's her baby. But if you want to learn more, then just visit www.melvahenderson.org. I'm so excited about this event, and I definitely will be in the place. And just a couple more events I'm going to give. It's the Most Powerful Voices Gospel Concert happening on Saturday, April 21st at 3 p.m. Is the health fair, and 5:30 p.m. is the concert, and it's hosted by Parklawn Assembly of God. Again, I'll post this in our group. And then, of course, lastly, look who's coming home, Kimberly Hill Knott. Kimberly Hill Knott is an amazing young woman, and I actually know her we go back in the day, and it's also Johanna's sister. And here and beyond that, she's running for Congress. That's a big old deal. It's an amazing thing. And so we're proud of her. And she's actually doing kind of a meet and greet on Thursday, April 5th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
It's a fundraiser, though.
It's a fundraiser, so bring some cash and pay, all of that. So I'll make sure I put that in our group too. And if you do want to support our own, then make sure that you come out and do that. Now, one of my favorite parts of the show, where we get to shine light on someone in Milwaukee doing amazing things. And I appreciate him.
Make sure that you come out and do that now.
Oh, I can. It's like I can hear feedback, and I'm like, who's talking? Sorry, guys. So I'm so excited about my next guest that I have. I mean, honestly, it's an honor. It's an absolute honor. 10 years, just celebrated 10 years with it. And I'm not going to say in radio. I think he's been in radio longer, but I know 10 years with blowradio.com, and to have him watching and inboxing and saying, we're going in and we're doing good. It's an honor to be able to hear that from a living legend. And so, Homer, are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yay, yay, yay. Homer, I'm so glad that you can be on the show today. And we had some technical difficulties earlier, so we had to start a little later, which pushed things a little bit later. But I'm so glad you're here. And I don't know if you heard some of the accolades that I was giving you before you came on. I was just saying that it's just such an honor to have you on the show, or even to be listening in. I mean, literally a living radio legend. And, you know, I mean, you actually were the first radio interview that I had. And back in the day, when I was doing Iberia and Soul City and so many other things, and I know there's so many people in Milwaukee that can say that they got their start or got some type of push because of the work that you've done. And of course, it goes beyond radio and into the community. So I'm just so blessed to have you on the show today. So I just, before we even start the interview, just wanted to say thank you for being who you are.
Oh, well, it's a blessing, and thank you. I'm happy to be able to know that I was able to have an impact on your life, as well as so many others that, you know, I'm in a blessed position where a lot of people happen to give me those accolades because I'm out there in the community and not just behind a wall.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Absolutely. And so now what you just celebrated, what 10 is it 10? I wanted to say 10 years in radio, but it's not 10 years in radio. It's blowradio.com.
No, it's 10 years for blowradio.com. When I started blowradio.com on March 31st, 2008. But for my actual career in radio on June 11th of 2018, it'll make 27 years that I've been in radio.
Wow. Wow. I don't know if you can hear those applause that we were giving in the studio.
and to know that out of those 27 years, 20 of them I've been in charge as program director and music director, being able to directly affect the music being played on WNOV 860 and WNOV 106.5 FM. So
that's huge.
Able to try to make an impact on a lot of different people.
Yeah, there's no try. You definitely do. We definitely feel it. And I have my one of my co-hosts is here, and I told I told him like a couple days ago that you was on the show, but he was so surprised. He was like, "Oh, you got Homer on the show, Pastor Redante." You had some things that you wanted to mention about some of the things that he's done even in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, Homer is a great friend of mine over 20 years. And just an amazing person in front of the mic and behind the mic as well. So I want to say that. And Homer, I'm glad that you won't Saved in the City this morning. So you got to hit us one time with the Homer blow.
Give it to us.
Homer blow.
Now we official.
Now we official. I know.
Now we official. But me and Homer go way back. Really good friends. Like, and I can go to his house and talk to him. We talk about life and real life and everything. And one of the things that I'm glad that you're honoring Homer today as one of the Milwaukee treasures is because Homer celebrates his birthday every single year, and instead of asking for gifts for himself, he turns that into this amazing festival to give gifts for children all throughout the community. And I was blessed to participate in it last year for the first time, even though he's been doing it for over 23 years now. But I was blessed to participate in it last year. And I mean, there were literally hundreds and hundreds of children receiving bikes and toys and all kind of stuff, all because he decided to selflessly turn his birthday into a day where it's almost like Christmas in the summertime. It's amazing just to see these kids' faces. So I wanted to give Homer an opportunity to talk about his birthday celebration that comes up every single year as well.
Yeah, well, thank you, Pastor, and I appreciate that. It just started from a chance of, a lot of the children knowing me through their parents, either listening to the radio, and of course they were forced to listen to the radio, and different events that I would do. And when I'd be out and about at some of the public and community events, kids would say, "Hey, can we come to your party if I'm at a club?" And I'm like, "No, you got to be grown." So I was like, you know what? I got to come up with something. So I said I would do a party for them, and it would be my way of being able to give back to the kids, and especially those in the community and surrounding communities a chance for them to come out and be able to be kids. And instead of me trying to just celebrate my birthday, let me give black to the kids of the community. And sometimes with the situations that we go through, the poverty and all of the negative statistics that you hear going on, people have to make real life choices of, do I get them this toy or do I make sure our lights are still on? And so because of being able to kind of come in and supersede that and all of the toys, one of the things that people tend to notice all the time from Carol Meekins on TMJ4, when she came out and done a Positively Milwaukee story on me, she was blown away because they're name brand toys. And there's nothing wrong with going to a dollar store getting toys and whatnot. But I know the toys that light these kids' eyes up. I know the bikes that they want. I know that they want the little ride-in cars. So I give away things to that nature, and I give everything for the kids. It's free. This will be the 24th annual on Saturday, June 23rd this year at the Fitzsimmons Boys and Girls Club, 3400 West North Avenue. And I provide them with bounce houses so they can bounce. They get to be kids.
Yeah,
because there's too many times that we have to shield them because of some of the deterioration of our community and our surroundings. But, I tell them, no, this is the day you don't tell them, stop running.
Yeah.
No, let them be able to be kids. I feed them, free hot dogs, pizza, burgers, Kool-Aid, the red kind, cake and ice cream.
Yeah, come on for the red Kool-Aid.
and just everything that I can to make them be able to enjoy themselves, having characters there that they see, from Elsa to Spider-Man, and then kid karaoke, everything that I can do. Cool. And for the last couple of years, I got to try to find somebody to take over that because Deion Thar moved. I've done an autistic sensory room.
Whoa!
Inside the Boys and Girls Club because I wanted them to be able to be a part. And so there's a room inside that we ended up, making sure that the lights were down and the lava lamps in the different colors. Wow. And in that room, I didn't leave those kids out because the toys I bought for giveaways in there were headphones, because a lot of them will use headphones. They love Legos, so I would buy Legos. And so it was things that they were still able to participate in the party as well. So that's my way of giving back.
Homer is, I'm always blown away, by you, which is probably why your last name is Blow. Yeah, exactly. I'm so serious. It's so awesome, and really this segment, Milwaukee Treasures, is a let me love on you segment. It's just literally, I see you, we see the work that you're doing, and we appreciate you. And so again, we just want to thank you for all the work that you do. Is there anything, so we got the birthday party coming up in June. Is there anything else that we need to know or we need to plug into that you're doing this, spring into summer?
Well, I'm always trying to partner with a lot of different organizations. So when it's time for book bag giveaways, I partner up with different organizations. So I'm constantly doing things so people can kind of keep up with me on social media. Everything is at Homer Blow. So whether it's Facebook, go to at Homer Blow and you'll find me. If you're looking at Twitter, at Homer Blow. Instagram, at Homer Blow. Snapchat, at Homer Blow. Kind of real simple. Very busy, but I'm that kind that you'll just see me at the event and be like, oh, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They may see me promoted, but not know that I may have been one of the brain childs behind the event, because I don't do it for the notoriety. I do it for the children. I do it for the people. And that's kind of just been the story of my life, being able to be blessed and being able to be humble, being able to help so many Milwaukee artists, whether they're R&B, whether they're hip hop, whether they're gospel, giving them game on how to get into and present their packages to radio and try to be successful. So, like the words of Bill Cosby, if you're not careful, you might just learn something. So, I love it. That's it. BlowRadio.com is on, of course, 365 days a year, so 24 hours a day. And so you can, always find out. I'll get it out there. But I thank you. I'm very proud of you and the things that you're doing. I'm very proud of the path that Pastor Redante Ashford has taking the torch on and able to reach some of those people that weren't able to be reached by the traditional, people that's coming out. So he's been there, done that, so people can understand and relate a lot better. So I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate anybody that has been helped by anything that I've been able to do. It's just been a blessing, and that's what life is about.
Well, Homer, you have definitely been a blessing to the Milwaukee and the surrounding communities. Also, I'd be remiss not to note, also when there were, not just in Milwaukee, but when there was a flood in Houston, it was the voice of Homer Blow that also, along with Curtis Fisher and a few others, that personally came together, put together a truck sending direct supplies to those that were in Houston. And so we thank God for Homer. And just on a personal note, when I was in the streets and in rap music and stuff like that, it was because of Homer Blow that I was able to get my first record deal. And so I just thank God for Homer Blow. He's a really good person, and man, it feels good to sit here and for Iberia to decide to lift you up as a Milwaukee treasure today. You truly deserve that.
Absolutely. Well, he's Milwaukee's own. We love you, Homer. We're not letting you go. So thanks again for being on the show, and we will definitely talk again.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Y'all have a blessed day.
Yes, we're going to go to this next song by O.C. Jackson, and we'll be right back after this.
All of my days, I will worship you with my life. Wonderful Savior, beautiful Jesus Christ. It makes no difference whether I'm up or down. I'll still worship you and serve you for the rest of my life. All of my days, I will worship you with my life.
Sorry to my Facebook audience. I'll be forgetting y'all. You guys are right up there. We looking all around, but we love you, and we are thankful that you guys watch us from Facebook Live and our podcast audience for sticking with us. We absolutely appreciate you. Wow, this has been an absolutely amazing show. I mean, from the hot topics talking about Stephen Clark, segueing into the incident with the Potter's house, and then also going on to talk a little bit about Snoop Dogg, topping the charts, #1 on the gospel charts. You know, I mean, this is the world that we live in. There's so many different things that are going on. And then, of course, you know, having an opportunity to talk to the amazing Homer Blow. But, you know, as we know, you know, with Saved in the City, when we come to the end, we want to try to give you a solution or something. And we know the premise of the show, no matter what it is that we talk about, is the Word of God. And so there were just a couple scriptures that stood out to me, and I wanted to share it with you. This is actually 1 Peter 2, 1 through 25, and I'll just read a segment of it. And it says, "So put away all malice and all deceit and hypocrisy and envy and slander." And we've been doing a lot of slander lately. And I'm saying we as just human beings, whether it's, you know, the young lady at the Potter's house that's now kind of slandering the name of church as a whole, or if it's the folks at the church talking about her and her mental illness, or, you know, whether, you know, we just had a political, we just had an opportunity to vote. And so, you know, there's the mudslinging that goes on in the political arena, and there's all of these different things that are always going on. But God says, like newborn infants long for the pure spiritual milk, that by it you may grow up into salvation, if indeed you have tasted that the Lord is good. So our focus needs to not be on the things of the world. Our focus, if you are a believer, should be on the things in the Spirit. And as you come to Him, a living stone rejected by men, but in the sight of God, chosen and precious, you yourselves, like living stones, are being built up as a spiritual house to be a holy priesthood, to offer spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God through Jesus Christ. It's real. It's the Word of God, and that's what we stand on. So did you guys have a good time?
Yeah,
we did it.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was a lot going on to try to fit in an hour. We're probably over an hour, you know. But you know, as we kind of grow and consolidate and make things happen, we love that you guys are sticking with us. So be sure to follow us on all social media platforms and subscribe to our podcast to stay connected to all things that are saved in the city. And until next week, we love you guys. Be encouraged. Bye.
Bye.